What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we did obviously receive the February update for Star Wars Battlefront 2, and as always when we do get a new update, I'm going to just give you guys a quick review on the updates so far and give you my thoughts on all the new content. For those who don't know what we received in this update, we got the OT maps in co-op, 2 new reinforcements in the Ewok Hunter and the ISB Agent, 4 new weapons, 1 for each of the regular classes, Leia and Chewie reworks, pretty much changing up some abilities and Chewie's bowcaster, and on top of that we got a heap of other little changes as well, most of which are being received really well so far by the community. So getting straight into it, I wanted to touch on the new reinforcements straight away, and my goodness, the Ewoks may already be my new favourite reinforcement in the game, even after only about 2 to 3 hours of game time. These little fellas are so much fun to play as their bow is so much more enjoyable than I thought it would be, and it's actually much stronger than I thought it would be as well. Being able to actually one-hit kill enemies, although to do so it does take a while to charge up, so just judging by what I've played so far, it doesn't seem to be too OP, or at least not yet anyway. Now, as much of a meme that Ewok hunt is, I've always loved playing as the Ewoks, and so to actually have them in GA and Supremacy now, it's definitely amazing, and like I said, I think these little furballs may just be my new favourite choice in the entire game. Now, as for the ISB Agent, these are actually a lot of fun to play as well. They kind of play like a cross between the ARC Troopers and the Sith Troopers, which is a pretty cool little combo, and although I haven't really played them nearly as much as I have the Ewoks, I have enjoyed them so far as well. For the longest time now, a lot of us have been crying out for some OT reinforcements, and so to complement the Death Troopers, I think these ISB agents are going to be a great addition to the game, and I actually think they will balance these sides a fair bit as they are able to buff their teammates, which was actually not possible with anyone else on the dark side other than obviously the officer class. I am going to be working hard on getting a class guide out for each of these new reinforcements in the coming weeks, so if you guys are interested in those, then be sure to turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on the guides. Now, moving on to the Leia rework, and for those who don't know, she did actually have her flash grenade removed and replaced with 3 thermal detonators, plus her rapid fire was buffed and the squad shield now heals teammates who are inside it. Just from my playtime so far with Leia, she's noticeably better than she was earlier. Granted, I have only really played her in co-op, so that doesn't really say much, but I can tell this will transfer over to multiplayer pretty well as she does seem a lot more deadly and well-rounded. Her rapid fire ability is noticeably stronger now. It actually feels really good to use it rather than just kind of feeling like it's pretty much the same as her regular blaster, and those thermal detonators are awesome to use as well, dealing a fair bit of damage, so it is good to finally see Leia being a more viable option in multiplayer. Now, as for Chewie, he received a pretty nice buff to his bowcaster where now it shoots in a much tighter formation, and when you scope in, it actually fires 1 single powerful shot rather than still shooting 3 to 5 shots, so that does make him a lot more viable now as well. Again, I have only really played him in co-op, so it's hard to say how he's going to be in multiplayer, but just from the feel of it, it does seem like he'll be much better since he can now hold his own at medium and even long range, so he's not as much of a one-trick pony like he used to be. I do have a feeling that it might get some more tweaks in the future, but for right now it does feel like a very nice little improvement. Just like I mentioned for the reinforcements, I will be updating both my Leia and Chewie hero guides now that they have changed quite a bit, so again, make sure to keep your eyes peeled for those ones as well. Now, lastly, touching on the new weapons, and overall I have no complaints at all about these blasters. They're a very welcomed addition, and so far they do seem to be fairly balanced, which I think is the main positive. The E11D is heaps of fun, and honestly it might become my new main for the assault class for quite a while. The T21 and the DL18 are both a heap of fun to use as well, and they're actually really balanced from what I can see so far. Now, as for the Cycler rifle, honestly it does feel just a tad underpowered in my opinion. It's not necessarily weak, but I do think it might just need the slightest buff sometime soon. However, I'm also a potato at aiming with snipers and just sniping in general, so it's very likely that it's more just me rather than the actual blaster itself. Now, getting these new weapons has been something we've all been requesting pretty much since launch now, and so I'm really stoked with these new additions, but I do hope that we can also get some more in the future now as well, as I feel like after maybe 2 to 3 months it's going to be very stale again, and so hopefully with some luck the devs do have some plans for even more weapons down the line. I would love to see in maybe 6 months from now, if we are still getting support for Battlefront 2, that maybe they could add another 4 weapons again just to keep things a little bit fresh and take that total of 16 weapons up to 24, which would be a very nice change to see. Now, like I mentioned, we did also get OT added to co-op in this update, which is really great to see as well, and we did receive 7 maps straight away, which is actually kind of mind-blowing. We did also receive some of the capital ship interiors to co-op as well, and in Heroes vs Villains, and so on the map front, DICE really does deserve a pat on the back for this update, as I feel like they added way more than any of us expected straight off the bat. Now on top of all of that, we did also receive some much smaller changes as well, some stuff like some UI changes both in-game and on the character selection screen before the round starts, and then there were a bunch of small little changes as well, one of which was Boba's concussion rocket now getting the blaster disable permanently added, which is a very nice little addition. Now lastly, and honestly this may be the single best part of this update, is that we actually got the join bug fixed after I think about 7 or 8 months, which is absolutely amazing, and for those of you who do join in on my live streams, this is going to make our life all that much easier. This has been a genuine issue in the game for so long now, especially in places like Australia for example, where the player base is a tad smaller and therefore it is harder to find games sometimes. But now with this being fixed, we can all join in on our fellow Aussies, and same goes for anywhere around the world honestly, plus it's clearly a lot easier to play with friends, so for me this is literally my favourite part of the new update, which says a lot because everything else is pretty damn awesome as well. But anyway guys, that is going to do it for this one. I'm going to get straight to work on a heap of those guide videos and a Mythbusters on the new reinforcements as well. And so like I said earlier, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any more Battlefront 2 videos or live streams. Thank you all so much for watching, you guys have a great day and I'll catch you all in the next one.
You have your moments. Not many of them, but you do have them.